There's a silent thief in your wallet right now. It's not inflation. It's not your boss refusing to give you a raise. It's something far more dangerous because you invited it in yourself. Warren Buffett, a man worth over $130 billion, still drives a modest car and lives in a house he bought for $31,500 in 1958. Meanwhile, people earning a fraction of his wealth are drowning in debt trying to look like they've already made it. The difference between the rich and the poor isn't just income. It's where the money goes after it arrives. Today, I'm going to show you 16 specific money traps that drain wealth from ordinary people while the wealthy quietly avoid them. Some of these will make you uncomfortable. A few might even make you angry. But if you're serious about building real wealth, you need to hear this. Let's start with the trap that catches almost everyone. Here's an uncomfortable truth. The poorest people often look the richest. Think about that for a moment. Designer bags financed on credit cards, luxury cars with 5 years of payments attached, the latest iPhone purchased the week it releases, even when last year's model works perfectly fine. This isn't about enjoying nice things. This is about performing success for an audience that doesn't actually care about you. Warren Buffett could buy any car on the planet. He can own a fleet of Rolls Royces and a mansion in every major city. Instead, he drives a Cadillac and eats breakfast at McDonald's. Why? Because he understands something most people never grasp. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are completely different games. When you buy things to impress others, you're transferring your wealth to the people who manufacture those things. You're making them rich while making yourself poor. And the tragic irony is that the people you're trying to impress are too busy worrying about their own performance to notice yours. Real wealth is quiet. Real wealth doesn't need validation. Real wealth is freedom, not a costume. Next, the credit card spiral. Credit cards weren't designed to help you. They were designed to profit from your financial desperation. Here's how the trap works. You swipe for something you can't quite afford today, promising yourself you'll pay it off next month. But next month comes with its own emergencies, its own temptations, its own justifications. So you pay the minimum. Then interest kicks in. At 20% annual interest, which is common, a $1,000 purchase becomes $1,200 if you take just 1 year to pay it off.
Stretch that to 3 years of minimum payments, and you've paid nearly $1,500 for something that was probably worth $600 by the time you finally owned it outright. This is wealth destruction disguised as convenience. The credit card companies know exactly what they're doing. They're counting on your impulses, your optimism about future income that may never materialize. Every swipe that you don't pay off immediately is a small surrender of your financial future. If you carry credit card debt right now, make eliminating it your first financial priority. Not investing, not saving. Eliminating that debt. Because no investment consistently returns 20% annually, but your credit card consistently charges it. Finally, the lottery illusion. Let me tell you about a tax that only poor people pay. It's called the lottery. The odds of winning Powerball are roughly 1 in 292 million. You're more likely to be struck by lightning twice. You're more likely to become a movie star. You're more likely to be attacked by a shark while simultaneously being struck by lightning. Yet millions of people hand over their money every week, buying tickets instead of building wealth. They call it hope. But hope without strategy isn't hope at all. It's delusion. Here's what those weekly lottery tickets actually represent. Abdication. When you buy a lottery ticket, you're essentially admitting that you've given up on building wealth through discipline, skill, and patience. You're outsourcing your financial future to astronomical odds. Warren Buffett didn't become wealthy because he got lucky. He became wealthy through decades of consistent, intelligent decisions. There's no shortcut. The money spent on lottery tickets over a decade, invested instead in a simple index fund, could easily become tens of thousands of dollars. That's not hope, that's math. The performance of wealth, the convenience of debt, the hope of a shortcut, these aren't just financial mistakes, they're psychological traps, designed to keep you spending your future before it arrives. Warren Buffett is rich not because he got lucky, but because he understood that true wealth isn't what you show people, it's the freedom you have when there's no one left to impress. We've only covered 3 of the 16 traps today, but breaking free from just these 3 will change your financial life forever. Start there. Start with what's real.
There's a quiet leak in your finances, and it doesn't show up on any bank statement. It's in your kitchen garbage can. Consider everything that goes into a single meal: the money for ingredients, the gas or electricity to cook, the time spent shopping and preparing. Every element has a cost. Now consider how much of that meal just gets thrown away. Studies show the average household wastes 30 to 40% of the food it buys. That's not just leftover scraps, that's hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year going straight into a landfill. Warren Buffett is famously frugal, not because he has to be, but because he understands a fundamental truth. Waste is just another form of careless spending. The fix isn't dramatic. Plan meals before you shop. Buy only what you'll actually use. Learn to repurpose leftovers, and understand that a sell-by date is a suggestion for the store, not a command for your trash can. These are the small disciplines that compound into significant savings. From a private habit of waste, let's look at a very public performance of wealth: the rental mirage. Someone works all week, trading their time for money. Then on Friday, they take that hard-earned money and exchange it for a weekend in an expensive car, just to feel like they've arrived. The psychology is fascinating. For a few hours, you pretend to be someone you're not. But by Monday, the car is gone, the money is gone, and you're back to the same reality, except with less in your savings account.
This is the core of the trap: spending money on temporary status instead of permanent progress. The wealthy understand delayed gratification. They know the fleeting pleasure of looking successful is worthless compared to the lasting power of being successful. They drive reasonable cars while their investments grow. They skip the performance so they can fund the reality. If you truly want a nice car, save for it. Pay cash. Own it outright. That is wealth. Renting an illusion you can't afford is just expensive theater. This obsession with image plays out on a smaller, more frequent stage too. Every year, the smartphone companies release new models. Every year, millions of people line up. And every year, they are mostly wasting their money. What actually changes? A slightly better camera, a marginally faster processor, incremental improvements that make virtually no difference in your daily life. A phone from 2 years ago does everything a modern one does. The real difference exists in marketing materials and in your imagination. Yet people will spend $1,000 or more to upgrade from a perfectly functional device because new feels important, because holding the latest model feels like success.
Because they've been convinced that a piece of technology defines their status. Warren Buffett famously used a flip phone until 2020. The richest investor in modern history wasn't texting on the latest iPhone. He was focused on things that actually mattered. Your phone is a tool. Treat it like one. Upgrade when it genuinely fails to serve your needs, not when a commercial tells you to feel inadequate. These traps are all powered by the same engine, the psychological pull of buying something new. New feels clean, reliable, exclusively yours, but that feeling comes with a massive invisible price tag called the new item premium. The moment a new car leaves the dealership, it loses a significant chunk of its value. The same applies for furniture, electronics, and countless other goods. Someone else has already absorbed that initial hit of depreciation. Why not let them and then buy what they're selling at a discount? Refurbished electronics often come with warranties and are functionally identical to new ones. Used cars can have years of reliable life left in them. Secondhand furniture made from solid wood often outlasts the particle board products sold as new today. This isn't about living with junk. It's about recognizing that new is often just a marketing category, not a measure of quality or value. Smart money buys quality and ignores the premium. That's how wealth accumulates, by refusing to pay extra for psychology.
The first days after payday feel like freedom. The scarcity is gone for a moment. You feel flush, abundant, so you spend. Concert tickets, dinners out, a shopping spree. But by the middle of the month, that freedom is a memory. You're scraping by, waiting for the next check, wondering where it all went. This isn't about earning too little. It's about sequencing. When entertainment comes first, everything else gets the leftovers. Warren Buffett spends his time reading, thinking, and talking with people he finds interesting. These activities cost virtually nothing, yet they are the foundation of his success. Joy matters, but sustainable joy doesn't come from undermining your financial future. Parks are free. Libraries are free. A deep conversation over homemade coffee is nearly free. Now, consider the money that bleeds out while you're not even looking. That gym membership. It's a business model built on a single prediction. You won't show up. The economics only work because most members stop coming but keep paying. The gym gets your money without providing the service. It's a brilliant model, built entirely on your failure to follow through. This pattern extends beyond gyms, to the streaming service you don't watch, the subscription box you don't open.
These small recurring charges add up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year in pure waste. The solution is simple. Cancel everything you aren't actively using right now. If you didn't use it yesterday, you won't use it tomorrow. You don't need a gym, you need movement. Walking is free. The membership is often just another trap. Let's talk about socializing. A single drink at a bar costs what an entire bottle costs at a store. Let that sink in. You are paying a 300 to 500% markup for the privilege of sitting on a stool and having someone hand you a glass. Do that twice a week, and you've spent thousands a year on what is essentially rented atmosphere. Human connection is essential for a good life, but there's something deeply wrong with financing your social life in the most expensive way possible while saying you can't save. Invite people to your home. Meet in parks. The conversations are better anyway when you're shouting over bar noise. Warren Buffett doesn't spend his evenings at trendy bars. He spends them reading. He invests in his mind instead of his bar tab. This pattern of paying for almost nothing extends right into your kitchen. Pre-sliced fruit costs double. Pre-chopped vegetables, triple.
Pre-made meals even more. You are paying for someone else's labor that takes you minutes to do yourself. A whole pineapple costs far less than a small container of pineapple chunks. A block of cheese costs less than the shredded version. These small markups seem insignificant in isolation, but they apply to nearly every food purchase week after week. If you're paying extra for 5 minutes of convenience, you're valuing your own time at a very low rate. Finally, look around your home. That urge to redecorate when life feels unfulfilling, the belief that new throw pillows, new curtains, new artwork will make you feel better, that is consumption masquerading as self-improvement. It works for a moment. Then the feeling fades and you need more new things to recreate it. A comfortable, functional living space requires enough seating, enough lighting, enough organization. Beyond that, it's usually about impression or filling in an emotional void. For nearly 70 years, Warren Buffett has lived in the same house. He didn't renovate constantly or redecorate with every trend. His house was sufficient. He didn't need it to be impressive. He focused his resources on what actually mattered. Fulfillment doesn't require a credit card. It requires recognizing the difference between what you truly need and what you're simply being sold.
There are invisible holes in your financial life, small leaks you don't even notice, but they're draining your wealth month after month. Let's start with one that's happening right now, inside the walls of your home. It's the insulation neglect. When your house is poorly insulated, your heating and cooling systems run constantly. You're essentially paying to heat the outside in winter and cool it in summer. It's a perpetual tax you pay every single month, all to avoid a one-time cost. The wealthy think differently. They fix the root problem. A tube of caulk or some weather stripping is cheap. These small investments pay for themselves in a year or two, and then they just keep paying you back. Forever. If your energy bills are high, the solution isn't to put on another sweater. It's to find the leak and plug it. This is intelligent resource management. This mindset of plugging leaks extends beyond your home. Consider the advertising you see every day. It's not a friendly suggestion. It's a targeted campaign designed by brilliant psychologists whose only job is to make you want something you didn't need 30 seconds ago. They know your emotional buttons, and when you make an impulse purchase, they've won. You've just proven their manipulation works, funding their salary with your savings.
The defense is simple, but it takes discipline.
Wait. Sleep on it for a week. If you still genuinely want it, then consider it. Most of the time, the desire evaporates. You'll realize it was a manufactured feeling, not a real need. Warren Buffett is famous for ignoring hype. He evaluates things on fundamentals, not feelings. That mindset is the real wealth. And this pattern of overpaying continues in your pocket, your phone plan. Carriers love selling you massive, unlimited data plans. They show you charts based on your maximum possible usage, not your actual history. Most people are on Wi-Fi almost all the time, yet they pay a premium for gigabytes they never touch. That's a subscription to nothing. Take 1 hour. Check your actual data usage for the last 3 months and compare plans. You could save hundreds of dollars a year. The wealthy pay attention to where every dollar goes. They don't overpay. That attention to detail is what separates wealth builders from wealth drainers. Finally, there's the beauty premium.
Taking care of yourself is important, but there's a massive difference between hygiene and overspending on luxury products that promise miracles. Studies show again and again that many expensive skincare or makeup products perform identically to their affordable counterparts. What are you paying for? Fancy packaging and marketing that's designed to make you feel inadequate without it. You're paying for the feeling of luxury, not the reality of better results. The most expensive version often has a nearly identical affordable twin. The difference is just brand perception, and it costs you real money for an imaginary benefit. These 4 traps all have one thing in common. They disguise destroying your wealth as just normal life. They're normalized by habit and social pressure. Everyone does it, so it seems fine. But they are choices. Every time you fix a leak, wait on a purchase, or switch to a cheaper plan, you redirect money from waste toward your own wealth. Warren Buffett didn't get rich from a huge salary. He got rich through decades of choosing investments over expenses, substance over appearance. You don't have to live in deprivation. You just have to see these traps for what they are and decide that your financial freedom is more important than performing success for people who aren't even watching. The real question isn't whether you can afford to change, it's whether you can afford not to.